Hello and welcome to the Lost Art Podcast. I'm Garen, I'm here with Paul.
Hello.
And this week we're going to be following up on last week's podcast, which was Irrational Dislikes. So this is Irrational Dislikes Redo, or Part 2, whichever you want to call it. So last week we set ourselves the challenge that we had picked a bunch of bands that for some unknown reason we just didn't like. We didn't necessarily hate them or anything like that. We
didn't hate them.
Yeah.
I reckon if we hated them, then they wouldn't. Well, I wouldn't have even picked them to try and fix that. Hate.
Exactly. So these were a bunch of bands. We picked 6 each that we just, for some reason, we were sour on them and we didn't know anything about them. We just, if someone brought them up, we go, no, not for me, or whatever. And we set ourselves the challenge of going off and spending a week listening to these bands to see if we could change our own minds. And boy, Jesus, did we listen to these bands.
Man, fucking hell. What did we put ourselves through this?
Stupid. Should have just done the best songs ever, Part 8. Like,
yeah, because then we get to listen to bangers.
Yeah, this was like in one way it was a good kind of practical, interesting thing to do, especially for people maybe listening at home. It might be interesting for them to hear our opinions, especially if we picked a band that maybe they like. However, if we picked a band that they don't like, they're not going to be interested in it whatsoever. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, so what? Why do I care what they think? You know? But,
no, exactly. Also, people have to stop fucking crying when we slag bands they don't like. You still get to listen to them. They still get to be deadly.
Exactly.
Just don't, like, man, there's people out there that hate Radiohead, and like, they're like, on the Beatles, they're like, I fucking hate them. Yep. I don't get this thing inside my chest that starts hurting.
Exactly.
I just go, sickener.
Yeah, exactly. Look, how wrong can you be? Sickener. And move on. Yeah, exactly.
That's like them like, I don't want to have a fucking all me fingers. I mean, grand, don't then.
Just don't get rid of a few of them. You gomby and fuck. So we spent the week listening. I kind of designated particular nights. I sat down pretty much every single night and I picked a band and I would start at the start to go back to the first album. And I'd listen to that and then move on to the second and so on and so forth. I didn't make it all the way through all of these bands.
That's very noble of you. I tried to do that, and some of them I got like maybe full albums and a few extra singles. Other ones, fuck.
Oh, listen, I knew within like 20 minutes whether I was going to put the time in. You know what I mean? And I'm just looking at it here. It's maybe 50-50 for me. I think I changed my mind on half of them maybe. But on the other ones, I think I might have dug myself deeper into that hate well, you know. And let's just get into it. Let's get into it. So your first choice last week was baby metal.
Yeah,
you spent some time then with baby metal.
Kawaii metal band, heavy metal pop crossover band, formed in Tokyo. And this date surprised me.
Yeah,
2010. That really surprised me. I did not think that they were going that long. They were set up by a guy called Kobe Metal, who's a Japanese metal producer. They have a mixture of genres like pop, rock, heavy metal, electronic stuff and industrial, and then symphonic stuff as well. You'll actually hear some... As I was listening through some of the stuff, I was surprised to hear some almost Meshuggah light, if you get me. Like some of the grooves were quite intricate, but then they just have a lot of young girls singing over it.
Squeaking over it.
I don't really... Like, they're all fucking brilliant at singing in their style, which is the juxtaposition. Look, it's really fucking weird, and I don't really like it. I tried. I got a song out of it, though. I think it's called Karate.
Karate,
I put on the list.
Yeah.
I found that kind of listenable. It didn't... Like, it... Do you know what I find? All baby metal songs curdle. The mix doesn't mix properly.
Yeah.
I listen to it and I feel the lump going down my throat. Oh, that didn't work. That bit there where it turns from like this mad heavy riff into and like these. Like I don't have anything against baby metal, the band and I'm going to call it an enterprise because it's an enterprise.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing, like a business. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, I think they are the first Japanese, kawaii metal band, like heavy metal mixed with J-pop. So you have to give it credit that the idea worked straight off the bat, and it spawned a load of other bands who I will absolutely never listen to ever again.
No.
People like Judas Priest said after he performed with them, he said in 2016, he says, that's the future of metal.
I hope not.
Like, here's the problem. Like, he's wrong, right? He's wrong because, like I like Rob Halford and all, even though I don't like Judas Priest.
Yeah.
But old people can't ever really say, well, maybe old people who are as legendary as he can say that's the future or something, but they're never right. Ever.
No one's ever right about that shit, ever.
I think the only people who's ever right about stuff like that is David Bowie or something like that, who called something and be like, oh shit, he was talking about the internet or he's talking about rap music way before it got
but he probably got involved in it and helped make it the future. Do you know what I mean?
True, yeah. I'm David Bowie and I promote this thing. Okay, deadly. Must be great then.
My next album's on the internet, guys. It's on the internet only. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I don't have anything against them. I sort of... Fair play to the people who can keep that novelty up going and like album after album and not listen to it. Not them. They're making shit a lot of money. That's great. You would keep going until it didn't make...
Oh, till the wheels fall off, like 100%.
Yeah, till the wheels fall off. But there's people like that the novelty didn't wear off for them. I'm like, that's insane. That's cool.
Simple
that's
things.
Great. So I went through their stuff and I wanted to kind of find out what they were singing about and stuff like that. And it's like stuff like parties and chewing bubblegum and not getting bullied in school now. Like that's literally what kids would sing about.
Yeah, Barney the Dinosaur stuff, like.
Yeah. Like I said, I found that song. I didn't cringe too much at it. I would listen to that and it wouldn't put me off too much. It seemed to blend. I didn't go too far. I probably could have found better. But I don't like the music, you see. I don't like it. So I don't think I'm going to get anything more out of it.
Nah, you know quick enough.
I just knew. But I did. I got a song that I did think, all right. But apart from the issue I raised last week, with my dislike stemming from 35-year-old dudes who I don't really trust with their intentions while talking about being metal all the time.
Yeah.
Because it feels weird. Like, I know people that will listen to mad music and they'll be like, oh, no, baby metal's cool. And I'm like, okay, hang on, right. It's cool. No, forget it. You know what? I don't want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to
you have to step back.
What your thing is.
Yeah, there's too many connotations to it. Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm like, I realised what I hate about the whole thing. I've realised properly. And it's that if you say you don't like baby metal, you're made out to be some sort of curmudgeonous crack vampire sucking the fun out of something that's supposed to be a bit of joy.
Yeah.
But it's not good. But it's not. I don't think it's good. Like some people will go, "This is amazing," because they will just. It's a new thing. It was anyway. It's fucking 11 years old now, which is the age that they were when they started singing in this.
Yeah, I was going to say they must have been like 10, 11 when they started.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Here's how I know I don't like baby metal, and I can put it in one sentence. I don't have any kind of music that I can think of that would hook me in that has 3 preteen girls singing in it, except possibly some sort of mad mix of mad heavy metal. And here it is, and I still don't like it. So this is the only way I could have liked this, and I still don't like it. Okay. So look, it's not for me. Best of luck to the band, and to their fans who are like over 30 hanging out on the metal forums wondering what kind of films they watch, even more luck to you. Yeah. To be honest with you. I'm going to mark this out. They went from a 5 out of 10 band to a 5 out of 10 band.
Yeah.
That's baby metal for me.
Okay.
That's it. Who did you, I can't remember who you had first.
My first one was the White Stripes.
That's right.
So,
I'm hoping you found a few I'm hoping you found a few. Well, don't tell me anyway. Until the time's right.
Exactly. Well, like yourself, quick redo, and I just didn't. I can't put my finger on why I disliked the White Stripes. It could have been because they got so big so quick, and they stuck around for a while, and then they blew up, and he stuck around again. There was just something about him being heralded as like the saviour of fucking rock and roll and all this kind of shit. And then he looks like a vampire, and that bothers me as well. And like a vampire that wears a pork pie hat. Dude just bothers me looking at him, right? So I was always just sour to it. I knew all the Seven Nation Army and Fell in Love with a Girl, and I knew all those songs.
That Seven Nation Army is some riff though.
It's a riff and a half, but for some reason it was just played so much, and it just came across as like festival fodder for me, And I was like, I just can't do it anymore. I can't listen to it. I know it's cool that there's 2 of them, and it's kind of kitsch, and it's know, I just wasn't for me. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to sit down. Because enough people that, like, whose musical opinions I respect were telling me, dude, you need to listen to the fucking White Stripes. You need to listen to Jack White. You need to listen to all this stuff. And, because as I said last week, like, I respect the fact that he was building pressing plants and, you know, has his own label and all this kind of stuff. It's very interesting stuff that he does. But musically, he just never... the kind of the skin of it that I skimmed didn't do anything for me to the point where I was like, I just can't, it's not for me. So I spent I think the first night I sat down would have been maybe last Sunday, I'd say, and I sat down and I was like, right, here we go, album 1, press play. And I sat there for an hour and I listened to this album. I was like, what the fuck's going on here now? This is not really what I expected. Like, I got all the big singles and stuff like that from the first album, and to be honest, I skipped them. I skipped the singles I knew, and I moved on to the next album and listened to that, and I was like, hang on a second. And I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to listen to this while I walk into work tomorrow. So I paused it, and the next day, onto the phone, Spotify, click, first album, hit it go, and I start walking. And by the time I got about 20 minutes down the road, I was like, this is fucking incredible. This is... What the fuck have I been doing not listening to this, like, music? Like, White Stripes have more in common with the first Black Sabbath album than they do with any of that kind of indie shit that they were kind of lumped in with.
You see, you'd have to have gotten in probably at the time I was, because if I was coming in like halfway through the White Stripes, I'd probably be thinking, ugh.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, they're great.
The sounds, like, I can't even describe it. It's this kind of blues tinted rock and roll stuff played through vintage amps, and even the way they, like, record it and mix it, it sounds like 1972. It's completely the opposite of it sounds the opposite of how big it got.
And you have to understand that when they were doing that wasn't a huge thing.
Oh yeah,
that whole doing the 70s thing, that was in the late 90s.
It's crazy.
It wasn't that wasn't a real big thing. They were really, one of the first bands to start, like the Black Keys and all them bands. That's all from the White Stripes doing that.
Absolutely. Like, I listened to it and, like, there's definitely no click track in the drums, right? There's one song where it's just drums and Jack singing. There's no guitar, no nothing like that. It's just him singing over like this basic kind of drum beat, and the drum beat's all over the fucking place. Like, there's not a sniff of a click track to it. So I'm like, this is real raw. And then you get to the next song, and the guitar tone is like, you can't decide whether the guitar tone is really bad or really good. Like, it's it's just this mush.
I can guarantee you it was designed to sound exactly
like that. Yeah, absolutely. Like, because there's no bass, so it's like he's obviously kind of messing around with the amp to try and cover all the kind of spectrums, and because of that you just get this mush, and then they sink his voice down real low into it. Like, for the playlist tonight, I picked a song called The Union Forever, and it's bananas. It's bananas good. Like, lyrically, it's some of the best stuff I've ever heard. Like,
his lyrics are fantastic. He ended up in my best lyrics. Remember best lyrics? I think his lyrics are great.
So good. I never thought that, because I heard the fucking fell in love with a girl, and I was like, oh my fucking god! Like, I had heard the Kinks do this years ago. You know what I mean? And then I'm actually walking around listening to what this dude is singing, and it's batshit mad. And he has these cool little kind of syntax loops that he does, where he like pull from the sentence before, the middle of the sentence before, and replace it again in the next one. And I'm like, holy shit, this is really, really good. So, listen, to summarise, didn't like it because I didn't know it. And I just assumed, as I said, it was festival fodder, and it wasn't for me. And I spent like a day and a half walking around listening to the stuff, and I was like, this is really, really good. And 100%
that's a
my
good
mind
success
has changed.
Story.
So yeah, 100%. Like, I'm never going to be the biggest White Stripes fan in the world, but I'm definitely torn to the point where I'd never tell anybody to buy shit or that I hate them ever again. Like, in that regard, I'm done. So that's a winner. I'm chalking one up for the good guys there, for the White Stripes. In terms of his stuff after that, I haven't got to that yet. I haven't got to his solo stuff. I will at some stage, but that Union Forever song is bananas good. Bananas good. That first album in particular is just shiha. So yeah, that's
cool.
The White Stripes. Who was your next one?
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, my next one is The Darkness.
Okay.
Who I said before I didn't really like, and it's one of those bands that people come up to me and were like, you are going to fucking love this band, man, The Darkness. I believe and think I love it. And I was around at the same time as Electric Six, who I loved because they were like, I don't know, some sort of bang of Salvador Dali madness off. Electric Six. The Darkness came around at the same time. People were like, "You're gonna love this," and I was like, so let down. I don't really genuinely don't really like parodies.
Yeah,
and I don't, unless it's absolutely nailed on parody, and even then, they have to have bangers. So I went digging through their albums, of which they have 6. With in mind that I wanted, I felt there was a good chance I'd warm to them via some inevitable bangers on 6 albums, and that was just not true. It just didn't happen at all. Over 6 albums, in fact, I think I liked them a lot less than I did, because I'm so disappointed that they didn't even have other good songs, that apart from the one that I thought I liked. So the one that I like is I actually don't even like the one I used to like now. I like it a little bit less. That's how fucking weird. I listen to this going, this is shite. This band are shite. Like, I think the Darkness are fucking garbage.
Yeah.
At first I was just like, I don't really get it, I don't really like it. Now, like that song I have, Get Your Hands Off My Woman, I still think is it now, I went from a song that I liked to being now just a palatable song. Weirdly, I don't know. They lean too hard on being a parody, and like I said, I can only accept that if the songs are outrageous, but they're mediocre on the first album and completely subpar on the other albums after that. There's flashes of great things about to happen on some of the songs and the intros, and then it just falls flat. I'm amazed. Oh, hang on, no, I have a quote here, right, that's from someone, and I wanted to just try and figure out who it might be. It sounds like me. I'm amazed the Darkness take themselves seriously as rockers, because I thought they were a fake glam rock band. I don't like them. I hate them. I don't understand it. I don't know how they are. I know they're huge in the UK, but I don't get it. Is it not just like Spinal Tap? It's just fun, but it's not funny. They take themselves far too seriously. They had a little bit of a thing in America, but I don't get it at all.
I bet you that was Mike Patton.
No.
That
was fucking Bon Jovi said.
Oh shit! If he's saying
he said he hates them. I hate them.
Oh my god! Wow. If John Bon is coming after you and you're kind of stepping on his toes a little bit, like.
Do you know what? It's annoying. Do you know what? It's almost like those people that go, I was only joking, and you go, were you?
No, I'm going to keep going.
Depends on what you meant. But like what is it? Is it because do you know what pisses me off in the interviews and all? Your man Justin Hawkins seems to do he's bought into the rock star thing hard.
Oh yeah.
And all the drugs and the partying and all that. But so I don't think you can have it both. I don't think you can ride both waves. I don't think you can have it both ways. I don't think you can be a parody where you're almost taking the piss out of something. Because if not, if you are dead serious about all you're doing, then what you are is a throwback. Yes. And if you're going to be a throwback, you definitely need the songs. If you're like, there's so many doom metal bands now that are throwbacks of 70s Black Sabbath style stuff.
Oh yeah,
but they have the songs and they don't take the piss out of it.
Yeah.
They are it. They go, we're massively influenced by this. We're wearing the clothes we were. Like, to be fair, the Stoners wear the same clothes, just with jeans and t-shirts.
Exactly.
So they're not really trying too hard to be. They're playing the music they always listen to. There's not a lot of fakeness there, but they are sort of taking on a style that never really changed, and they're not taking the piss out of it. The Darkness, I don't know what it is really. They don't know where the line is anymore, where it's drawn. It's kind of blurred to them. I don't like them. I don't like Steel Panther. The piss takes that don't function as good musical outputs. Yeah. Comedy that isn't even funny. You know what? At least Airborne and Greta Van Fleet and stuff like that model themselves directly off a band, but they don't try and ride the two waves. They don't take the piss and then somehow ask people to take them seriously.
Exactly.
You can't do both of that shit. So yeah, I think it's shy. They went from a 3 out of 10 band to a 2 out of 10 band for me. So I'll never be interested in the Darkness. I like them even less now. I always thought, fuck it, if I just give them a go, there might be some stuff in there. Well, I did, and I thought it was shy. Like, it progressively got worse. So
well, at least you know now.
So I know now exactly. I can fully say no. So who's I think I might have skipped. Did I skip a band?
I fixed it. It's okay.
I did. Grant, sorry, go on.
So my next one is the Eagles of Death Metal. We talked about them last week.
I'm interested for you to do the homework on that one for me.
Yeah, so I again, one of those bands where I don't think I ever even heard a full song. Like, I heard a couple of seconds or something. I went, like, I just know instantly, nah. and I just took a general dislike to everything to do with the band. And
desperately trying to be cool. Desperately.
I didn't know jack shit about it. And I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't even look them up on Wikipedia. Right? I didn't even bother. I don't want to know your man's name, the singer, or anything. I don't want to know anything about them, right? I just sat there and I done the homework. I just sat there listening. I listened to the first, I think 2, maybe 3 albums, back to back, and it's fucking garbage. It's fucking hot. It's hot garbage, man. Bin juice, pure bin juice. I'll tell you exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like Status Quo playing Cramp songs while Jerry Lee Lewis is the conductor, right? It's every now and again, like almost every song is a 12-bar blues riff, right? Yeah. So at some stage on almost every single song, you'll get the every single song that's in there, right? But then what they'll do is they'll put a weird effect on the voice to slow it down, and the singer God, start doing the fucking Cramps thing. But then someone will come in with the piano and do the single, for what I call the President's of the United States single fucking twink, but it's the Jerry Lee Lewis single twink, where it's like bing 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 bing.
And they're probably throwing a bit of a early fucking Elton John in there as well.
Yeah, there's just that single pink. Just ping, 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 ping. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to say, and I'm not just. And every single song is the exact fucking same. And you can tell that Josh Homme was heavily involved in the first record. I don't know what his involvement was as the band kind of went on and on and on, but you could smell him all over the first kind of record and a half or something like that, And then I think your man, the singer, the ropey bastard, with the moustache. He obviously kind of stepped up to the plate with his fucking Hawaiian shorts and his, aviator sunglasses and shit, and he was like, I'm going to write some songs. And it's not that there's a decline in quality, because he's just doing his best Josh Homme songwriting impression. And I'll tell you this, I cannot fathom how they're as big as they are.
I don't get it at all.
I have no comprehension how anybody can listen to that and go, that's my favourite band.
And it's not like they can go on the podcast where we just don't get it. We actively don't like this music because we've heard it DJing and people are asking for it. Like, do you really think that's a good song?
Not only that, I understand the concepts of fucking music that he's using to write these songs, because I'm sitting there and I'm hearing the same 12-bar blues shit and the same fucking 4/4 shuffle. And I know exactly what effects he's using on his vocals. Now, what they tried to do, especially in the first album, they tried to go for that, as I said with the White Stripes, that very kind of 70s sound. And we talked about this last week, that the front that they put towards the public is very 70s with the covers of their albums and shit like that, And even the name is kind of kitschy, fun. But they tried to do that kind of 70s vintage amp kind of vintage microphone, vintage mixing kind of feel, but you can tell there's bananas money behind it. There was big money in making the record. It's their best impression of a 1970s kind of recording session. Well, the White Stripes, I think, just had a 1970s recording session. They just got an analog desk and tape machines and done it.
They remind me of a band that start in a movie about bands like that, and then people had to write music for it, so they wrote music that wasn't particularly good, but just like that. They remind me of something like Stillwater or something.
Yeah, exactly. Almost Famous or something.
Almost Famous.
Yeah.
Someone wrote, they're part of a film that where the music didn't have to be good and the look didn't have to be quite spot on.
Yeah.
It's all just, they started this band just so they could be in a band, and that is nothing wrong with that, and most people do, but man, I honestly listen to their songs and I'm trying to find the big song. When I was DJing, people asking for their stuff, I'm trying to find this big song that makes me go,
they're all middle of the road garbage. It's I tell you, they're so bad they make me like Queens of the Stone Age more, right? And you know me, I don't like them. I just don't like them. I don't hate them, I just don't like them. And Queens of the Stone Age, sonically and the way the songs are structured and all that, at least have some fucking interesting parts to them. This is just honest to God, Status Quo playing Cramps covers. That's all it is. You could even go the other way around. You could do Cramps covering fucking Status Quo. It doesn't matter. Put both of those bands in a blender and just strain out the meat and leave the weak sauce behind. And that's where you get the fucking Eagles of death metal. The singer is a ropey cunt. When there was that shooting, was it Bataclan? Is that a Bataclan or whatever it's called? The place they played in France, where the shooting was at, and he came out saying if this had happened in America, it never would have happened because everybody's armed, and if this was in America, I would have had my gun on me, and I would have been able to save everybody. All this kind of bullshit,
on stage, you definitely would have on stage.
100%. You fucking knobhead. But fuck this band. Fuck everything about them. Honest to God.
I never have to even think about going through that stuff again.
If someone even brings them up again, just fucking say, listen to Irrational Likes redo, skip forward about 20 minutes and there's your answer. Absolute scutter. Zero interest. Because one of the things we put it out to the public onto our Facebook, and I even done some TikTok videos about it and stuff like that, trying to get people's kind of gauge. And even on TikTok I read out the names of the bands that we were kind of looking at, and the one that everybody came back with was Eagles of Death Metal. They were like, fuck that band. Like, nobody.
Really?
Even the gobshites on TikTok are like, fucking, this is, like, they're absolute garbage. And I was actually agreeing. I found myself agreeing with people on TikTok. This was a Christmas miracle. I was like, if I'm witches here. There's people posting up like, that singer's mad ropey. And I'm like, yeah, of course he is. But fuck that band. Full on fuck that band. And I hope they don't exist anymore. I hope that's how bad they are. Who's your next one?
I wish they'd been
exactly. I know, I was dying. There's a giant part of me that wants to go down that road, but I can't.
No.
I can't. I can't. I just I don't have very many lions, Helmet, and that's one of them though. Because I know, because I'll deal with some Saturday night when I'm locked or something, and it'll be funny. But the next day I'll wake up with the pure fear, and I'm definitely not doing it sober.
Right.
So who's your next one?
Pet Shop Boys.
Oh, okay.
I hate Neil Tennant. I hate Neil Tennant's stupid posh voice. I hate Chris Lowe being in his 60s and still wearing tracksuits, caps, and stupid hats. I hate all the old man dance music they made after the 90s. I think Go West is an abomination of a song. I think that What Have I Done to Deserve This with Dusty Springfield is shite. What annoys me about them going through their music again was they have brilliant bits in their songs. Like, there's brilliant bits in West End Girls that sound so good in the minor key. And the minor key part of Suburbia is so fucking deadly. And then it goes into this horrible flouncy major key chorus. Not for me. On the flip side, songs like Opportunities, which I picked, have a slightly irritating verse and a banger of a chorus. So here's the thing, right? I've warmed to them now. Because I went back over, and even though I hate some of the synth sounds, some of the early stuff, their synth sounded way better. Chris Lowe's stuff sounded just way better. I still don't particularly like the fact that Neil Tennant sings effortlessly. Now, that's not a good thing. I mean, he sings with zero effort.
Yeah.
And that someone goes like, oh, Billie Holiday had this like effortlessly brilliant voice. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It sounds like he just doesn't.
He doesn't give a shit, yeah.
What have I done to deserve this?
Very wishy-washy, breathy. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the style. That's fine. But I have to say, a few songs did stick out to me that I did start to like that. Like, right, so there's a song called Love Comes Quickly. That's not bad. I remembered that I didn't hate that song being boring as well. Remember that? We were never being boring. I almost put a bit of effort into the vocals there. I wouldn't. It's a Sin is a banger, even though I've come to realise it's a rip-off of Wild World by Cat Stevens.
Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world.
Not that bit. So, he's all like, na 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 na.
Yeah.
Na, 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 na. Is it Wild World? Yeah.
Maybe.
It's like, trust me, I'll do it sometime on the thing. And that song, Rent, you pay my rent. These are all really good songs. Those ones I just listed there, except I can't do his voice, man. I can't do it. I still can't do it. However, I have to admit, though, that I can't put them down as a bad band now because they write good songs. I think what I might try and do is do some sort of a compilation of their songs being covered by other people. Because there is, songwriting-wise, there's some bangers in there.
Yeah.
Have to
just their performances don't do it for you.
It's the way some of the songs turn from minor to major. That's horrible. I don't like his voice really on any of the songs at all. But I have to say, though, they've gone up in my estimations after digging further through, especially the really early stuff. Also, I have to give them credit. They go up another little notch as well. They don't post on social media. They're not into all that.
Yeah, don't do anything like that.
They have their Pet Shop Boys account that's run by maybe them, maybe not. But it's,
I think it's
very
I remember when they were recording that last album, there was a couple of photos of them in the studio saying working on the new album, and that was like you know, and it was a shed.
They're monstrously big.
Yeah,
they'll always be monstrously big. So they went for me from a 3.0 out of 10.
Yeah,
I'm going to give them a 6 now. They're up to
a 6 out of 10. That's solid. That's solid.
6 is bad. When someone goes to me, do you like Pet Shop Boys? I'm now not going to go shy. I'm going to go few good songs.
Okay,
so that's
fair.
That's it. That's a big improvement for me now.
Fair
on me, and I kind of want to hear more of their songs without the voice. Like, the song I picked there, Opportunities, is fun because his voice weirdly is okay on that because it's a sarcastic song.
Okay.
You know that song, Let's Make Lots of Money?
Yeah.
It's actually a really, really good song. Few annoying parts in it though, that's what I'm saying. But look, I've made me peace with them.
Okay,
that's
good.
And that's
good.
It's a big deal. So
we're growing as people here, Helmet. We're growing as people.
We are. I've addressed some of the irrationalities. I still hate, like I mentioned, some of the irrational things, like the voice, which I don't like, and your man wearing tracksuits and silly clothes and glasses, whatever. That those are irrational things. Who is your next one?
My next one is Gorillaz.
Oh, this is interesting because I like White Stripes and I like the Gorillaz, and you didn't. So.
Yeah. The Gorillaz to me was just a stupid fucking idea, and I had no interest in them. And that Clint Eastwood song is about an hour long, and that's pretty much all I knew. And I fucking hated it. I used to have to DJ it all the time because it was a good song. We need to go for a slash and have a smoke. You could just bang that on, and he'd be there, boom, 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 for like an hour, la 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 la, or whatever he does for an hour. So I sat down. I was like, "Fuck!" I really didn't want to do it. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't want to do it. I just had like this like psychological lock against wanting to do it. I was like, "Oh, I don't want to listen to the Gorillaz." Like, get me hairbrushed by my ma, you know. I was like, and so I said, "Fuck! All right, just do it, you stupid bastard." So I sat down. Album 1, bang, go. And I listened to the whole thing. I was like, that was shy. And then I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I was like, that was dreadful. That was dreadful. Like, I literally said it out loud, dreadful. And then next one comes up, Demon Days. So I put Demon Days on. And it's fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's a brilliant album.
It's so fucking good, right? It's so fucking good. I was like, you stupid bastard. Why don't you own this? Why don't you? There's so many unreal songs on here. Like,
yeah, it's a great album.
It's so fucking good. I picked the song "Every Planet We Reach Is Dead," which is just outrageous. It's just loads of these songs are those type of songs that me and you talk about an awful lot of time, where you can't comprehend how it was written. There's no format to it, and
they sound like they sort of threw bits together and picked out the ones that worked.
Yeah,
it's cool. Whatever way it works.
Yeah, it's a great way of doing things. It just doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, the first album.
Sometimes you want to think, did the bass come first? And you're like, no, that hook.
I can't have. Here's the thing, right? I actually have this written down here. So it says all songs written by Damon Albarn, right? But then it says all samples, drums, and synths by Dan the Automator, right? So, how the fuck does that work then? Like.
Maybe it's just lyrically comes first.
Maybe, like, Dan the Automator's fucking incredible. He's involved with, like, Dr. Octagon and Deltron 3030 and, like, all this kind of shit, you know? So, like, he's one of the greatest kind of producers / kind of beat makers to ever exist. And we know that Deltron's on here, Del the Funky Homo Sapiens on here, and apparently he got in there through Dan the Automator, because Dan the Automator and Del were working on an album, and I think they had a couple of days left in the studio. This is on the first record, I think. They had a couple of days left in the studio, and they were just going to fuck off and go. And Dan the Automator said, is it alright if I stay here for the remainder of the day, as they're paid up anyway? I'm working on some stuff with Damon Albarn. And he played it, and Del was like, that's really cool, can I get in on it? And he ended up doing some stuff with them as well. And that seems to be the way the whole thing was kind of put together. I mean, it's Jamie Hewlett, the guy, the artist from like Tank Girl and stuff like that. Yeah. It's him and Damon Albarn's project. They're the two core members. That's it, right? Everybody else is just a blow in. They're the only two guys. And even then, apparently, the two of them had a big row as the project kind of moved on and got bigger. Damon Albarn takes it over, and the two of them had a big row. They ended up kind of becoming mates again and shit like that, but eventually it just becomes Damon Albarn's kind of side gig, and a lot of people weren't necessarily happy with him because especially Jamie Hewlett, who wanted to do, you know, big giant screens with animations and shit like that, and apparently like 6 tours in and they're still using the same graphics that like Hewlett had done 6 years ago, you know, like he was kind of cast off to the side. But I was trying to figure out how these things are made. If it says all songs written by Damon Albarn, but like Dan the Automator's doing all the work. I don't know. I'm sure they have something worked out there. Again, that's not for every song, because some of the Gorillaz albums are just Damon Albarn, and he made them on an iPad on the back of a bus.
Right.
You know, so you've got 2 or 3 real albums, and then a bunch of other albums that are just him fucking around with GarageBand, and he's releasing them as Gorillaz albums. You know, that could be him pissing on the fucking trunk of the tree now, saying this is mine.
A lot of people say like, oh, they're just a gimmick band, but it was set up to be like that.
It was meant to be a virtual band. As in,
like what would happen if we like did like a comic strip cartoon, like Gem and the Holograms and stuff like that. But what if Gem and the Holograms ended up having outrageously good
Exactly. I think that was
It's okay to create a band via a different medium.
Oh yeah,
I think, and that was the whole plan. So people go, "Oh, it's all stupid, it's gimmick," and you don't even know if they're going to be there when you're playing it. Are they all behind the stage? It's all stupid. I don't really care about that, because they're being honest from the get go about what this is.
Yeah,
it's a cartoony style.
Exactly,
it's really new and refreshing, I think.
Oh yeah, and they bring in new characters. They bring in they brought in some bassists from another cartoon. Saying that like their original bassist after getting hit by a car or some shit like that, something like that. Yeah. And they bring in just some character from a famous cartoon, and they're playing bass now in Gorillaz. So in terms of that, like there's loads of cool.
Brilliant.
Yeah, there's loads of scope to do cool shit like that. So the first one was recorded between London and Jamaica. Obviously, well, everybody was on tour doing stuff. So it gets to Demon Days, and it's like production wise, how it sounds 200 times better. Like, it's so clean and crispy, and everything's spaced out. And it was Danger Mouse.
Yeah, I'm not mad about the first album. I think it's good. There's a few good songs on it. I really do like it, but it's the second album they went, oh shit, you know what? We should do this, but way more seriously.
Yeah, Demon Days is so much better. Like again, yeah, you're right. The stuff in the first one that's interesting, but Demon Days just wipes the floor with it. So Danger Mouse gets brought in to be the producer on Demon Days, and the reason he gets brought in is because Damon Albarn hears the Grey album, which is Jay-Z's Black album mashed up with the Beatles' White album that Danger Mouse made and put on YouTube. Right now, it's incredible. It's not on Spotify.
Pretty decent going, to be honest.
Exactly. It's great fun. It's a fucking great fun record. And I remember when that came out, I downloaded it on like Napster or something like that, and I wore the shit out of it. Like, I was obsessed with it. That on American Edit and Wugazi. There was a bunch of these mashup albums that were just really, really fun. But Albarn heard the way that Danger Mouse had kind of done this together, and he was like, this dude's the future. Like, I need this guy in here. So, I mean, there's so many people that were involved in the fucking, that was involved in the making of the second album. I'm not even going to deal with a list. Like, it's Mick Jones from The Clash and all gets involved in it later on, and it's fucking insane. The only thing I'll say is that there's a similar problem on Demon Days that there is to all the rest of them, and that is every now and again you'll hear a piece of music that's not a sample that they played that sounds mad familiar to something famous. There's some, like, I don't know whether they're doing it on purpose, but there's some like reworkings of not classic riffs. I mean, you're not going to hear fucking, you know, Money for Nothing or something. You know what I mean?
A Holy Diver riff that Foo Fighters robbed for their thing, yeah.
Exactly. You're not going to hear something mad. You're not going to hear Thunderstruck played backwards, but you're going to hear these little piano pieces and organ pieces that you're like, that sounds mad familiar. I can't put my finger on exactly what it is, but if you gave me a day thinking about it, I could tell you exactly what that's not necessarily a lift, maybe an ode to, but like there's bits in there.
You might hear like a little bit of Supertramp in there or something like that.
Something like that. We just go, what the fuck? Like it's even like 2 or a 3 chord change where you go like, that's real spicy, I know that. You know what I mean? There's loads of that stuff in there, and it's not sample based stuff, it's stuff they're actually playing. And in that regard, sometimes that can take me out of it, but still, I have to say, Demon Days, fucking outrageous. I gave loads of the other stuff a listen as well, and some of it was fine, but I don't think it got any better than Demon Days, to be honest with you. And I enjoyed the shit out of that album, so they definitely changed my mind, 100%. I'm not going to buy the first one. I probably won't buy any of the other ones, but I'm going to buy Demon Days.
Yeah,
so, that's Gorillaz for me. Who's your next one?
Yeah, Journey. As I mentioned before, I steered away from any Journey because my whole life I've been hearing Don't Stop Believing, and to be honest with you, the very fact that it's in Glee makes so much sense to me. I think that's where it lives as a rock song. That's its most rock moment, which is probably not, but to me that's was. And I really hate that song, Any Way You Want It, which to me, like, not Any Way You Want, sounds like Bucks Fizz, man, on a Eurovision song.
Yeah,
like Eurovision, absolute shite. So because of this podcast, I set myself up to go digging. And I wasn't too surprised to find out that they have their roots in Prague, because I always knew that they were great at their instruments, and usually stadium rock bands, if you go further back, they started as a prog band. And so before Stephen Perry joined, they sound, the first album I went to, it's not on Spotify, I had to go and look it up on YouTube, sounds like a mixtape of someone who's a massive fan of like Pink Floyd and The Who. So the songs are kind of along those lines. It's pretty good. I went digging through the later ones as well that Steve Perry are on, the first 3 or so. I don't really like them. Really, it's kind of corny. It's when they went, you know what, let's make money instead of prog rock. All bands have done that, you know. Supertramp did it. Yes did it for a while. A lot of their stuff does sound a little bit like Yes. The album that this is on, Escape, is a really well titled album, because as soon as I put it on, I was like, I want to get out of the
Get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it starts with Just a Small Town Girl, and you know what? Pound for pound, that's not a really bad song. I just hate it.
Yeah, just
I don't think it's good either. It's one of those, like I said, Johnny used to work at the docks. Obla di, obla da, say la vie, say the old folks. It's one of those songs about 2 people, and it's like, he was a mechanic, she worked in a diner.
Bill Springsteen shit.
Yeah, but just not as well put. Yeah. Like, not as well hidden. But so I went digging, and it turns out Journey are not shy.
Okay.
Which is fascinating to me. Because although I don't like that album, I went to the album after it, Frontiers, which is a 1983 album, which was flooded with my favourite thing, synths.
Oh, yeah.
So we have the banger Separate Ways, and it's everything that Don't Stop Believing isn't. And by that I mean it's very good. Yeah. It's a very good song. There's a song on it called Send Her My Love, which is a ballad. It's an okay ballad, but the synth and the bells and all that are so good. And the vocal performance from your man Perry is
I don't know jack shit about them. Like, I know those songs you're talking about, and that's it.
Yeah. There's the song Chain Reaction, which is like more, they chugged it up. There was much more, like, they might have been listening to Tin Lizzy by then or something like that. I don't know. There's a more chuggy sound off it, like a heavier sound. I'm happy to announce that they did go up in my estimations from a 2 out of 10 band. I put them, you know what, if I really go through all their stuff, and I will, I reckon they're coming out at a 6.5 for me.
6 point. I'm writing all these down, by the way.
Because of the mid 80s stuff.
Yeah.
They went so far up in my estimations. So after that, I listened to a few bits and bobs after that, and I was like, after that album, and I was like, shit, they continued that on like a little while, and then I didn't really go near anything near the 90s, because your man Steve Perry left in 87, and then joined again, left in 98.
Happened a lot.
In the 2000s, after going through a few singers, your man the band just went on YouTube and just went right.
Oh, you were saying this,
yeah. They just went to look at like the true Journey cover bands, and they landed on a Filipino band called The Zoo, with the singer Arnel Pineda, who was singing Faithfully, and he was singing faithfully. So they were so sorry. They were singing it. They were so impressed with him singing it that he was called up to do two auditions with him, and he nailed them. And since 2007, he has been their lead singer.
Unreal.
Which is a kind of cool story. Like
only in America, folks.
Yeah, well, if you're because there are Philippines, if you have access to the internet, and well, I was just saying access to the internet because it's fucking Philippines. I'm just saying in 2005.
Yeah.
I mean,
fucking light on the ground, especially like uploading shit to YouTube.
Everyone had the internet. Yeah, everyone had the internet then. It's grand. In my head, I can't remember when the internet was fucking out. I was honestly watching TV shows, and someone was like, "Yeah, like Facebook." I'm like, "Hang on, this Facebook wasn't out when this show was out. What? When is this?" You know what I mean?
I was watching the X-Files, and it's set like 1993, and they're running around with cell phones. It's like, shut the fuck up. No, they didn't.
Exactly, yeah.
And there's one episode on the internet, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, the internet didn't exist. So it did, it was just shy.
It's mad. Sometimes someone says to me, like, 2005, remember the internet? I'm like, did we have massive internet then? Of course we fucking did. We had it like in 99. I'm like,
we would have had broadband. We would have had broadband by then, I think. Remember. Shit broadband. Half meg broadband, anyway, but
that was Journey gone up, shot up. But
shot
I still
up the ranks.
I hate that shit songs. Like, I hate them.
Okay.
But I have to be honest with you. That song, Separate Ways, that I stuck on there, is so good.
Okay.
Like, it really is. Have a listen to that song and be like, okay, that's just an absolute arena rock banger, but with loads of mad not cheesy 80s, but like, I suppose a lot of people consider stuff cheesy, but I don't. But it has that movie, like the start of an action movie synth.
Okay.
I love it. Anyway, that's them. They went up. Who have you got next?
My next one is the Style Council.
I was going to try and listen to some stuff, but I couldn't do it.
I'm going to save you a load of work. I'm going to save you so much work here, Helmet, right? So, I talked last week about just one of them bands that their fans bothered, one of those bands that their fans annoy the shit out of me. And I hate the fucking haircuts. I hate scooters. I just don't understand scooters. I don't understand loads of that stuff. Now, that's not to say that I hate all kind of mod stuff. That's not true. Most mod stuff's just soul music with a bit of rock and roll in it. I'm all over that, right? So, like Small Faces and all that, I like all that stuff. But I said, right, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do the Style Council, because I don't think I've ever listened to, like, even quarter of a Style Council album. They've just been one of those bands that have been around forever, and that'll do, you know. And I didn't take to them back in the day, so I'm probably not going to take them now, so that's why I dislike them. That's what I thought in my head. So I sat down and I said, I'm going to do the fucking homework. Do the homework, Cummins. So I sat there, I put the first album on, and I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck am I listening to? It was like this Parisian jazz, right? And like piano, plink plonk jazz. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I thought I was after finding some, like, B-sides thing or something. I was like, no, that's their first album. It's called Cafe Blue. I'm like, oh, fucking hell, okay. Alright, so I move on to the next album, which is called Our Favourite Shop. And it honestly sounds like the background music from a really shit soap opera in the 80s, right? It is, it's real bad. Real bad. I couldn't even tell you why it's real bad. It's just this, like, cheap sounding. Oh man, how do I even describe it? It's got like, there's no musical word to it to my ears. It just sounds like it's there to fill a hole. Like someone said, quick, you have a weekend to get an album out, and they ran in, and what comes out was this kind of synthy, shit sounding electronic drum garbage. I can't, it's real bad. So I move on to album number 3, which is called The Cost of Living, and it's this kind of Phil Collins-y, like kind of the shitty old Michael Jackson synths with programmed bass instead of because this is a band, but the bass is all that kind of shit synth bass, like. Do
you know what I think they were trying to the whole time? They were trying to create something that hadn't been created yet.
100%.
What they were doing was they were just mashing up old things and not doing it right.
It's so, like, this album, The Cost of Living, there's rap on it, right? And it's like the rap that like Blondie were doing, you know, where it's like, get funky when we go to the club, get funky, you know, that kind of shit. We're here to rock the house. Style Council here to rock the house. And I don't know whether it's them rapping or they got someone into rap, but it's the skin will be crawling like listening to it. Then I got on to the fourth album, which is called Confessions of a Pop Group, and it's starting to sound a little bit closer to what Paul Weller's solo stuff is going to become, you know. You've loads of cool kind of piano and shit like that, and it's starting to sound a bit like kind of piano ballads mixed with like Frankie Goes to Hollywood and places. Well, those big kind of orchestral like plink, plink, plonk, plonk, plink, plink, plonk. And I'm like, this is okay. Now I'll say this: song titles on the fourth album, Confessions of a Pop Group, their song titles are some of the best song titles I've ever read in my entire fucking life. They are just.
Gonna give me some of them.
Yeah, let me read. I'm gonna read you out here now. Okay, what we got here now? Is this the right one? Hang on a second, I'll make sure I'm on the right album.
Sorry, I fucked you up there.
No, you're grand, you're grand. I can tell you, I'm going to open it up here now, properly. Confessions of a Pop Group, there we go. And I'm reading some of these out. First one, It's a Very Deep Sea. Song number 2, The Story of Someone's Shoe. Let me just jump over here. The Gardener of Eden, which is a good name.
Oh!
This is a good one. Life at a Top People's Health Farm.
That's good.
Yeah. Why I Went Missing is a good one.
That's good. That's actually a really good title.
And then there's another one here that says, I Was a Dole Dad's Toy Boy.
That's deadly.
Yeah, which is really cool. Which has I think the least amount of plays on the entire album. I'm looking at it here on Spotify. Yeah, it has like 10% the plays of everybody else's. So I bet you it's much better than the rest of the songs. It is. It's real bad. Like, it's not good at all. I couldn't find anything in there that this was the band that I thought the harder I would dig, the more gold I would come up with. I said that last week. I was absolutely
that's
sure.
That's I was hoping that I was going to even try if I had time to do it.
I was sure it was going to be something.
I'm going to let Gar do it.
Now, again, we have to say this, as we said it last week. If you love the Style Council, fucking fair play to you. For me, there's nothing there. There's nothing. I love the jam, and I love Weller's solo stuff. These
people would all have their version of these irrational dislikes. And
absolutely. Absolutely.
All I would ever do is be surprised, but some people get real tick. Like, people literally... We made too many jokes about, like, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and people were like, I'm unfollowing the page.
All the time. Like, you want to see that on TikTok and shit when I'm doing videos.
Just do it. Don't even tell anybody. Just unfollow us.
Exactly. Make a big song about it, like, for fuck's sake. The Style Council is just not good. It's... all the albums are full of this shitty kind of, what I call pub synth. And I find it hard to describe what a pub synth is, but I guarantee you know it the second you hear it. It's like a really...
I already know.
Yeah.
It's cheap sounding synth.
Yeah,
but it's sort of too much reverb, so it sounds like it's down the back of a pub as well.
It's like early kind of polyphonic synth that it's like not tuned right or something like that, and it's real flat. And it's just...
And there's not enough EQing and effects on it. They just took it straight out of the keyboard without like EQing it at all.
Yeah, it would be like fucking when you were a kid and you were dragged to the pub by a ma, da, or fucking whatever, and you were given a packet of crisps and a 7-Up, and there was some fucking hokey band doing covers in the corner, and there was always one cunt that had like the keyboard, and it was just set to the same
big Yamaha,
big old Yamaha. Exactly. And that's the Style Council is riddled with that, and it's like your man, whoever he has playing, because it's pretty much what's his name? Is it Ian Townsend or something? I can't remember his name. The keyboard guy. It's pretty much him and Weller that seem to be the constants in the band, kind of from the get-go, you know. And keyboard player done an awful lot of stuff as well, and produced stuff for other bands and all this kind of shit, you know. Like he made his money and made a career off it. But God help.
Did you get a chance to listen to that album that I sent you by them?
No, not yet. No.
So the Style Council have a 90s house album, and he thinks it was going to be brilliant, but they because the record label talked about releasing it, it would have been huge. I'm telling you right now, it wouldn't have been huge. No. They think the Style Council are fucking brilliant. The Style Council think the Style Council are brilliant.
Oh, 100%. Breaking down the boundaries.
I think they're like they were like a shite version of what the Clash were trying to do, like mixing two styles of music like punk and reggae, which wasn't even really. I don't know if the Clash's idea. Probably not. I couldn't tell you, but it worked. To be fair to the Clash, I'm not mad into them, but I think the whole time they were trying desperately to find this new amazing sound.
Exactly, but even towards the end of the Clash's career, like they'd way more misses than hits, you know. And like people never talk about the end of the Clash's career being like a fucking abomination. And
I just mean this. I think the Style Council were trying.
Yeah, but that's what I think. That's where they were at, you know, where Joe Strummer is like desperately grasping at shit to kind of keep relevant and cool and stay ahead of the fucking herd, and that's what the Style Council was. And it's just shy. Listen, do yourself a favour. I put a song. I should probably tell people what the fucking song. I don't even know what the song. "Come to Milton Keynes" is the name of this song, and I couldn't tell you why I picked it. I probably picked it because it's real bad. So give that a spin. Yeah, give that a spin. It's fucking. It's not good. I'm not gonna say it's. No, it is garbage, but it's not like intentional garbage.
But you don't. It's not. It's not. You don't spit too much hate at it.
No, it's just shy.
Feel sorry for it or something.
Yeah, it's
feel
just
a bit sorry
shy
for trying and failing.
And it's an entire like I would assume. It would be a fairly strong assumption that the Style Council aren't making any new fans, you know. Well, someone like the Clash always is, you know. And the people who are like balls deep in Style Council were the ones that when they were kind of that 14, 15, 16 years of age, Style Council were coming out and they were hot and they were cool and people just stuck with them, you know. Well, if you played somebody now,
they fooled people into thinking that was good.
Well, it looked like because of the whole kind of modernism thing that happened, they had as much of a kind of artistic merit as a musical one, where they were using fashion and art to push their kind of creative fucking ideals, you know, out as well as music. And like, when it's a complete package like that, it's hard to turn your nose up. It's like someone like Ghost. You can listen to the music and go, that's really cool. But then you see the little videos they do on their albums, cover art, and there's a little story behind the characters and all this kind of shit. And you're like, this is now I'm in. It's like a comic book. It's like a movie. I'm in now, you know. And Style Council definitely had a little bit of that. But for me, it's a fucking no-go. Like, it's a big no. If I never heard another Style Council song tomorrow, I wouldn't be happy about it, but it wouldn't affect my life in any way, shape or form. Like, it's just, it's absolute bleh is what it is for me. And that's maybe coming across even more like aggressive than how I feel about it. Like, it's just whatever. Who's your next one?
Glory Hammer. Do you remember I knew fuck all apart from the few songs I'd heard?
Yes.
Battle metal sort of thing, and I find it extremely hard to listen to. I didn't think that their output was particularly good. There's not a huge amount to talk about here. All their songs sound exactly the same, and I knew every song was going to go. It starts with a drum and a thing, and then either a
little arpeggio thing.
So I went through. What I knew about them and what I heard was neither particularly good nor bad, but I don't like it, and I don't like the feel of like. They do a thing of creating the characters and all as well, and having the look being specifically sort of medieval space medieval, whatever. That doesn't mix to me at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't, unless you're talking Ulysses. They somehow made it work. So I went through 3 of their albums. Oh, God. The first one from 2013. Yeah, Tales from the... I know, but this is what we signed up for, and I am sap for doing it. Tales from the Kingdom of Fife is their first one. The second one from 2005, Space 1992, Rise of the Chaos Wizards.
Fucking hell.
And then 2019...
Oh, God.
Then 2019 they had Legends from Beyond the Galactic Terror Vortex.
Stupid. Imagine going into a record shop and asking for that, right? This is why, like, if I ever put out a couple of, like, a few more records, like, it's gonna be just nice, simple, simple fucking themes, simple words, simple names, because I don't want to embarrass somebody. Imagine some like 14-year-old goes into his local record shop like, have you got the new Glory Hammer album? They're like, oh, what's it called?
Legends from Beyond the Galactic Terror Vortex.
I don't know. Like, you'd be so embarrassed to say that.
Glory Hammer fans don't actually buy music.
Of course they don't. They press play on YouTube.
Actually particularly massively. There's not. You know what? The song I chose isn't even a single. I found a song that I actually didn't think was that bad.
Okay.
And I don't think any of the songs are that bad.
Yeah.
I just dislike the whole internet fucking meme of Glory Hammer.
Okay.
The whole virality. Is that the right word? The whole fact that it's
virulence.
Fucking viral internet, like it's sharing, it's colourful and it's happy and stupid. But to be honest with you, I have to remember,
it's harmless.
I have to let the irrational hate go that it is harmless drinking music. Yeah. However, it should stay as drinking music.
People don't do that. It should stay
at live musics and playing at a club or something like that. The gigs they play, but people like. But I wouldn't tell someone not to listen to it on their walk to work.
Oh, yeah.
I would just go, I don't understand how that works there at all. But because I don't think the music is strong enough there. But in a live environment, that might be a bit of crack. For me now, I wouldn't be able to do more than 3 songs. Because I swear to God, they're so similar.
Really?
The song I picked out was palatable. Like, it went down without too many lumps in my throat. Do you know what I mean? It really did. It didn't have that awful digital sounding double kick. You know that? That horrible thing. It's quite a basic song. It sounds like Iron Maiden. Like, it sounds exactly like Iron Maiden. But that's why I kind of went, okay. Except the riff is done with this sort of trumpet. And
weird.
It's weirdly alright. Like,
okay.
This is the only Scottish Swish band I know of. Half Scottish, half Swish. Swish, I keep saying Swish. That's hard not to say that. Scottish Swiss. That's actually hard. Try and say that.
That's probably how the Scottish say Swiss.
Swish. It is.
Swish.
So there you go. Try and say Scottish Swiss real fast.
Scottish Swiss. Scottish Swiss. Scottish. I can't. I'm getting a fucking stammerer. Scottish Swiss. I can't. Scottish Swiss.
There.
Okay.
It's hard.
That's tough.
My brain does. That's tough.
Does not compute. That's the name of that song.
Impressed. I was. It does not come. Fucking hell, man.
Would you like to play a game?
Godfire on the holodeck. I don't know. Mad fucking
transporter accident. Yeah, exactly.
Those 2 words don't mix for me.
Yeah.
So it looks really awkward to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you try and mix Hero Quest with Space Crusade, mash it together, you get this band. And while the music isn't that bad, and it comes from Ailstorm and stuff like that, you know, a lot of the members. Ailstorm again aren't that bad. It's sort of that. It's on par with that kind of drinking music.
Yeah,
which I don't like.
It's not for me.
It's not for me. So when I had a more hatred towards Glory Hammer because I thought the look of the band annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah,
the whole space armor. I don't know.
Well, I suppose in one way, the way I'd look at it is that if was it, what are they called? Ailstorm? What are they called?
Pale Hammer.
Hailstorm. Hailstorm. So they're doing kind of piratey shit, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's grand. It's
but that's also like there's like a, what would you call it? Like an imprinted legend in kind of all humanity to know about that. Since you were a kid, you watched like, you know, Peter Pan, Captain Hook, fucking all these movies and shit like that.
And to be honest with you, they have that shanty vibe, which is kind of cool.
Exactly, that sea
shanty vibe.
Yeah,
that comes. This is not really great for me because the riffs, while they're okay, the ones that they didn't steal off of Monomarth, to be honest with you, because loads stolen off of Monomarth, loads of riffs ripped straight off them. I'm going to move them from a 2 out of 10, which I disliked strongly, to a 4 out of 10, which I let them at it, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
it's not up to me anyway.
So they're a 4 out of 10. Okay.
They're massively more important to the world than I am, so fair play.
Off they go. Play with your fucking laser guns.
Not to people that matter, but to a lot of people. To a lot of people. Glory Hammer, look, they went from meh to
okay.
Fair play. You know what? They can play, and your man can sing.
Oh yeah.
Got to give that to them. So I'll move off. That's my second last one. Who's your second last one?
My second last one was the Stone Roses.
Now, one of my favourite bands.
Yeah, just never done it for me. They weren't important to me as a kid when they were important to the rest of the world. Breezed over them, and my only experiences.
They were too good for their fans.
Probably, yeah. My only experiences with them were talking with their fans about how good they were, and their fans would never talk about how good the band were. They would talk about what their life was like when they were listening to the Stone Roses.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So it got an awful lot of fucking lads in their kind of mid-50s talking about, taking 10 yokes and going to a rave in a warehouse after seeing fucking Happy Mondays play the Mean Fiddler. You know what I mean? That type of shit. And so nobody ever talked about the band being good. And I knew... But let me explain. I sat down. There's 2 albums, Self-Titled and Second Coming. I sat down, done them in order. I sat down, listened to the Self-Titled. First of all, I was surprised about how many of the songs I actually knew that I didn't know were the Stone Roses. Right? Yeah. Whether that be from just kind of osmosis, TJing, or hearing them in
working in the bar,
movies, exactly, that kind of shit. Exactly. Well, yeah. So I was surprised at that. It's very kind of Manchestery jangle pop, but it's not. It's not happy, but it's. I was trying to write this down. I'd probably need another fucking 2 or 3 nights to try and completely express the way my brain felt about it.
It's very interesting. It's upbeat, but it's quite dark.
Yeah, like it felt like all the songs were like an escape from the fucking dreary horrificness of the UK in the 80s. Like they were the lads in the band and their pals and their families just weren't. It was grim. I have to assume that Manchester in the 80s was fucking horrible. The same way Dublin in the 80s was horrible. Same way everywhere in Ireland and England in the 80s was fucking horrible, right? And they were probably fucking abusing drugs, drinking too much, doing nothing. You know what I mean? Just fucking get up and smoke fags and go to the dole office or whatever, or have a shit job. I didn't like it, the usual kind of stuff. And the music they were writing seems like almost like an escape away from that. So even though it's kind of upbeat and kind of jangly and fun, it's not. There's like a hidden depression in there. And I was like, this is really interesting. I've never really heard. The closest thing to this that I've heard would be something like, obviously, like the Smiths, but less depressing in its lyrical delivery than the Smiths. Because every night they kick into this kind of cool, kind of fucking Telecaster with a bit of, not loads of reverb, but enough on there, and the drums are kind of banging along. And
that's the thing. John Squire almost didn't fit into this band. He's a blues rock guitarist.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But it really worked, I think.
Yeah, and that really comes to the forefront in the second album. So I sit there and I listen to the Second Coming, and I'm like, this is real different. First of all, this is real different because it was years. There was like 6-7 years between the 2 albums.
It split the fans and it split the media and all.
And I've done a little bit of reading, and apparently, like the music journalists at the time are like, "There's no fucking way they're going to be able to make anything as good as Self-Titled," and they felt the pressure from that as well. And the record label were on their back saying, "Where's the second album?" They're like, "We don't know whether we fucking want to do a second album." And this comes out, and I'm listening to it, and it sounds to me, now again, I know nothing about this fucking band, this album sounds like it was written in the studio. And or most of it anyway. Maybe there's a few bits brought in, but it's...
I think there's loads of deadly songs on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was mostly...
Yeah, because I'll tell you why. Because the songs are... padded is the wrong word, but there's a sprinkling of like mad guitar solos and guitar licks that are thrown in where they weren't there in the first album. So it sounds like the first album, someone was writing these songs, or 2 or 3 of the lads were getting together writing these songs and making them as compact and as front towards enemy as possible, and that's how you get this fucking outrageous 10 out of 10 album, because it is. Stone Roses is 10 out of 10, right? And then the second one comes along, and it sounds like, as I said, it sounds like it's done in the studio because it's so different. And then there's like weird kind of lulls, and then swells back into stuff, and it's very, very different from the first one. But I thought it was fucking super. There's a song in there called "Begging You" that is fucking
Begging You is amazing song.
Bananas good. Like, it's fucking incredible. And
I love that song.
It's outrageous, and you can hear where Ian Brown is being given a bit more space to kind of be a lyricist. Like, there's loads of bits in that second album that are very, very like his solo stuff, where he's just going off. Like, he has a theme in his head, and now he's kind of a seasoned enough veteran that you had a great fucking album, he's had the turn all over the place, and he's got it under his belt, and now he knows what he can and can't get away with, and he's going to push the boundary of what he's able to sing about and how he sings about it. And he's not going out of his way to be big Johnny fucking great voice singy songy kind of guy up and down. He's staying in his wheelhouse, and he's making sure that you can understand every word that's said. And like that second album, Second Coming, is fucking incredible as well. That's another 10 out of 10 album.
Brilliant. Yeah. I know that it's not perfect and it does seem forced, but there's a certain fuck yous all. We're doing this.
Absolutely a swagger to it. You can 100% in the second album in particular, 100% where Liam Gallagher got his voice from. 100%.
Yeah.
Not so much the first one, the second one. You can fucking hear Ian Brown doing his fucking like, you can hear all that kind of shit. And well, there's bits of that in the first one. You can absolutely hear like the progression of where he was going to where he kind of ended up. And one fucking super album. Like the two of them together absolutely changed my mind. Like, both of them are getting bought. Let's put it that way.
Do you know
absolute turnaround for me.
If you can find the complete Stone Roses as well, it has a lot of the early songs on it that aren't on the albums, and they are up there with even better. They're up there with them as well. So if you find the complete Stone Roses as well, that like it's a sort of best of the first album mixed with B-sides and other stuff. But Jesus, man, they're so good. They're way. If you were to look at their fans and listen to their fans talking, like you said, it's all about the time in the year because it was massive. But they're better than that. They're better than the whole idea of it.
Yes, 100%. There's definitely more.
And you picked a really good song as well.
That proves I was listening. That proves I was listening, folks.
That's a phenomenal song, and the lyrics are grim as fuck. Like.
It's really good. Now, for the playlist, I'll say this. For the playlist, I picked Made of Stone. Okay?
Yeah.
Off the first album, but I had to write down Begging You just because it was fucking outrageous. Yeah, exactly. From the second album.
Make sure you watch the video for that as well. It's fun. All right. It's a lot of fun.
Just I couldn't believe how fucking wrong I was. Let's put it that way. Right? I just couldn't. There was people on TikTok were like, because I put up a video saying like, I'm going to listen to Stone Roses now. Let's see if I was wrong. See if I managed to somehow like them. And there's people from Manchester posting up on it, saying like, "What do you mean you don't like the Stone Roses?" I'm like, "Listen, I didn't grow up in fucking Shameless, man. Like, I don't know. Like, it wasn't for me when I was a kid. Like, I liked loads of that music, but for some reason, it blew over me. And loads of them were saying, like,
and you're not helping this.
Exactly. And there was a couple of them. Were saying, like, just go and get yourself like a 10-spot of hash. And sit down by the river.
Yeah, no.
And I was like, what?
No.
That's what they were saying. Go and get a 10-spot of hash and sit down by the river and listen to the album. And I was like, that's the problem. Exactly. Well, I said like a 10-spot. Like, when you get 5-spot, you cheap cunt. Like,
you can't even buy that.
Of course I can't. So well, you and 3 of our mates get together and buy a 9-bar, That's what I said to them. But the fact that like even somebody who was trying to convince me into liking Stone Roses had to equate it to being in a particular place with a drug. Proves me point that that's what put me off it in the first place. Anyway, that's the Stone Roses. I'm 100% turned around. Who is your last one? Is it? Yeah, your last one.
Yeah, Dan Lasac versus Scroobius Pip. Just so far away from the kind of thing I like. I hate it. It just has a bang of slam poetry off it.
Yeah,
and I hate this woke poetry over. Yeah. I think the beats are a bit meh as well.
Yeah.
So I have to be honest, I couldn't get through a lot of this without it making me sort of angry. It sort of really annoys me. So Dan Lasac and Scroobius Pip is a hip hop duo from England who do sung and spoken poems over electronic music. And their album from Angels from 2008 was huge apparently. Jesus, it's painful. It's so painful. And he is making sure every single word, hello, I am blah, blah, blah. And I hate his voice, man. I can't. Neil Tennant is way better voice than this lad.
I talked about him last week because he does loads of like voiceovers and acting and stuff now, and he can spot him a mile off. Like, spot him a mile off. He's saying, the song I picked is called Great Britain, right? And it is, right, musically okay, but the lyrics, he's singing about like knife crime statistics. So like, that's grand and all, but I don't understand how you could be listening to that and enjoying yourself, because of course.
the beats are so upbeat that you're trying to like jam along to it.
Yeah.
And but he's talking about like knife crime statistics being
20,000 got stabbed last week, and I can't even do his voice.
And it's upbeat and kind of happy, the song. And I just, oh god, I picked it because he's saying Great Britain doesn't know whether he loves it or hates it. I really like I had to keep skipping through to try and find a bit where he would just stop being that guy. Do this, do that, and man, like, he's probably sound as fuck. He's got a really popular podcast. I'll never listen to it because it's a bit preachy for me. And I know he seems to want to help, which is great, people, and he seems to want to make a difference, which is more than anyone can say for me. But to be honest with you, the only thing I really read about it is that he worked in HMV so long, he saved up enough to go a year of his life without working.
Okay.
So he saved up enough to like go through, and what he'd do was he'd write a load of this would wreck my head personally if this happened. If I was standing in a queue for a gig, which is what he did, he would go up and he would give spoken word things to the people queuing up at gigs.
If someone done that to me, my skeleton would jump out of my body. If I was in line for a gig and some blokes, can I rap at you for a second? I'd be like, please,
he wouldn't even
God,
ask.
no.
He just come up and start going.
If he's like, I was born in 1979, absolutely not, mate. Fuck off. Like, honest to God, my spine to jump out of me.
I think a lot of people were like, fuck off. That's bullshit. But Jesus, man, I can't do this. It's not even that it's English. It's not even that it's woke. It's not even the sound of his voice. But it is all those things together.
He's dying to. He's mad extra, the cunt. Is what he is. Yeah. And like every time I listen to his podcast, and I do listen to it from time to time, and don't get me wrong, there's been a couple of episodes that were decent, but for the most part he's always trying to one up the story he's being told, or I think in his head he's trying to kind of rationalise it or normalise it by talking about stuff that's happened to him that's similar to it, but he ends up not giving the person space.
Yeah.
And I just think he's mad extra.
I found a musical act that I think people should listen to instead.
Okay.
TLC. Just listen to TLC instead. I don't even particularly like TLC, but I heard them today and I went, you know what? That's better than Scroobius Pip.
Absolutely. English rap is a very fickle beast.
Oh, fuck, man.
It's a very
maybe as an Irish person, it's not for me. But then again, like we're talking about Stone Rose in Manchester accent, it's just I love it. I love the sound of it.
It's not about it being British or English or anything like that.
No, it's not. It's just preachy. It's a bit preachy for me.
And the rap, there was a great group called Mark B and Blade, and from the UK in kind of the early 90s. They were fucking super, and they were doing like American style hip hop, but they were doing it with their British accent. But like the production was shit. The song called "You Don't See the Signs." It's called "You Don't See the Signs" because you're blind. It's fucking killer.
Your man from Filter did a remix of that. That's even
did he?
The
there you go.
Yeah,
they were really good.
He puts chug a guitar over. Like so if you like, do you know what's better for me now? Now it's probably a bit not as relevant anymore because it was from the 80s. But the disposable heroes of hypocrisy, are sort of like that's what I like. They're kind of rapping in a almost Public Enemy style.
Yeah.
Man, I don't care about this music. I really, out of all the bands, they went from a 1 out of 10 to a 1 out of 10. Just stayed on that. Like, I physically, if someone stuck on their music in a place, I'm not being like a drama queen. I'd have to leave. It really annoys me. Reggae doesn't annoy me as much as this kind of music. Like, I don't think we're not set up to play anything, but now. But if you want to listen to the playlist, the song before and the song after, and tell me that that's not really annoying. It might not be to you. Some people like poetry mixed with music. I think the music on its own is not the worst thing I've ever heard. That's why it gets a 1 out of 10.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, what he's like, it's like, in 2005, the government released statistics about knife crime that said it hadn't moved. It stayed stable. Do I like the fact that it stayed stable? Is that a good thing? I'm like, why? What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
What the fuck is
does
this
that song
shit?
need to be made? Like, is there someone out there going, there's not enough knife crime?
Do you know what? Don't put music behind it and don't try and make it a banger.
Yeah, stupid. I can't. No.
Because what the fuck is it? No, I'm done. I'm not interested. Listen to TLC. Way better. They have a song called fucking No Scrubs, Creep, Waterfalls. All better than Scrubs.
Okay.
Who's your last one?
My last one is Sabaton.
Yeah, they're crap.
Okay, right.
You know what? Oh, fucking hell. Just before you go into it, take back what I said. Sabaton are just not, they're not crap, they're just not for me. So
yeah. So, as I said last week, there's a hole in my soul for some sort of mad cheesy metal. And every now and again, I get like a goo on me to listen to mad cheesy garbage kind of fucking power metal or something, right?
Just that's what Creator are for, man.
Yeah, exactly, or Bowl Thrower or something. And so what like there's a hole there for it that just needs fulfillment every now and again, and it's never going to be a genre of music that I'm mad into. I'm never going to be mad into these bands, that type of shit. So I saw Sabaton live, as I said last week. I saw Sabaton live. I saw a couple of their songs in Vicar Street, and I was amazed by the stage set up, and sounded cool. I hadn't a clue what was going on. I didn't know any of the songs. I stuck around for 2 or 3, and then I left. I had to go back to work. But there's always been something in my head where I was like, that's shy. I just don't like it. But somewhere in the back of my head then again was kind of like, you never gave it a shot though. Like maybe you
never
would.
Tried,
because you like a bit of that every now and again. Just like walking to work or whatever the fuck it is. It's something a bit
I know
different.
what you're saying. You don't want to hear Iron Maiden. You want to hear something that you haven't heard before.
Exactly.
But it's sort of familiar and scratches that itch of just
Absolutely.
a big riff and a big
100%.
Yeah, I get
so
that, yeah.
I sat down and I listened to loads of Sabaton, right? First things first, we said last week about German. They're Swedish, right?
Right.
They're fucking Swedish. I straight up thought about German forever, but no, they're Swedish. Every song is like a history lesson, and there's dates and shit, and they're all descriptions of battles, so they call it like battle metal, right? So
right.
Yeah, man, be like, in 1447 we rose over the hill and the fucking home of Christianity.
Is it historically accurate? Like?
Apparently so. Like, they give full descriptions of like battles through history.
Apart from Christianity, modern. Like,
yeah, well, their biggest song, their biggest song, which is called "The Last Stand," is about the defense of the Christian homeland against the infidel. So it accounts like some fucking battle there. I don't know. It's so fucking mad. Now, I don't like the way they record their music. They do this thing where they strip loads of frequencies out with the guitars to make room for their synthesizers, which don't really do anything except back up the guitars, right? So the synths, if the guitar is playing a fucking G to a C to an A, the synths are playing G to a C to an A in the exact same kind of timing. So the guitar's going jin 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 jin. The synth is going wah 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 wah. They never break out. So they're trying to get this weird kind of ethereal kind of mix to make the kind of guitar sound a little bit more epic and shit like that. And it doesn't really work. I'm not. Listen, straight up, like hands out, this is mad embarrassing music, right? And it's, for some reason, it seems to attract people that don't think it's embarrassing, right? And I put, out of all the videos, I done one. I keep referring to TikTok because it's blown my mind the last week, right? Because I've been trying to get people involved and having conversations and stuff like that. And I put one little video with me listening to a Sabaton song, and I literally was looking at the camera and I was like mouthing the words, "What the fuck is this?" Right? And their fans thought that I was being blown away by how good Sabaton was. And I mean, I got 2,000 likes on that video. I got tons of comments, right? Tons of comments like, "Welcome to fucking Sabaton TikTok."
Welcome to Sabaton.
Yeah, they all do that, right? And then they were like, yeah, it makes you want to like drive a tank and all, and like it's battle metal. And I'm looking. Everybody who posted up, I clicked on their profile just to see if they were normal, and they weren't. Like, they weren't. And
I do know a lot of people I know and like that are mad into Sabaton, but I just where are the songs? Where are the songs?
The songs are. Every song sounds the fucking same, right? And
same with all battle metal.
All battle metal sounds the same. Now, they're not like carbon copy clones of each other. They just use the same formula, and every now and again there's one song that has like a flute in it, and you're like, why is there a fucking flute in this song? And then they have another song that has like, it's like a banjo or something, and it sounds like the Dropkick Murphys, because it just sounds like the fucking Dropkick Murphys. And there's one more bagpipes, I think, as well. They're mad for throwing in like traditional instruments to make it sound a bit more authentic, right? And every song is like, why did they have to make this? Like, why did they have to, like, I don't understand. First of all, the singer looks like Kenny Powers, right? He's this chubby dude wearing this kind of futuristic looking bulletproof vest with shit shaved at the side of his head. And every time I see him, I'm like, there's La Flama Blanca. Like, I'm just like, there's fucking Kenny Powers. Because he has the, like, razor shades, like the Oakley shades and shit as well, and the little kind of goatee schmig, and he looks like Kenny Powers. So I can't take him seriously to begin with. And he's got a good voice, and everybody can play. But all the songs, I don't understand. Now, I'm going to sound like an old man or somebody giving it about heavy metal music when you were a kid. That, like, I don't understand how when a song starts, their fans know what song it is. Because
they cheer and you're like, oh no, this is
they're all wrong.
Under the treads of the tank.
Exactly.
Part 5. I'm like, right,
is it? All right. Like, they're all the same, except for the ones that maybe start off with like kind of sea shanty soldier songs. You know, we marched up over hills and we walked through mud and grass and then the cannons blared and we you know what,
man? Why don't we like this? It should be dead.
That's what I'm saying. Everything I'm saying, I'm trying to talk people out of it, and every time I say it, I'm like, this is unreal. Which, like,
I'm going to tell you this as a kid, that this is not like you were going to grow up and not like this.
Exactly.
Like, you're playing Toy Soldiers right now, and imagine there was music that went along so well with this. Like, yeah,
exactly.
This, and then, like, I don't know, man. Maybe we're just grumpy pricks.
Now,
couple of judgmental grumpy pricks.
Here's where I'm going to shock the world, right? I'm going to say that I don't like it and I don't hate it. I haven't decided yet. I need a mulligan. I don't know.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you. I listened to loads of it. It's pretty much all the same. I tell you what pushed me a little bit was how into it their fans were, even if their fans are mutants.
Yeah, do you ever get that?
100%.
Sometimes you're so into it. You're like, do you know what? Because deep down, we like when something is making people genuinely really like a great. And like Sabaton fans aren't arseholes. They're fucking grand. Loads of my mates are Sabaton fans.
People are posting that up as well. They were saying one of the best bands with the best fans in the world. I was like, oh, all right, okay.
But no, like what I mean is, they don't really breed shithead fans like Pantera did.
No, it's not like that. These are all special cases, right? They are. But there's nothing wrong with that either. The world needs a bit of needs rainbows and lollipops as well. Like, it's not. I'll tell you what's weird about it. You listen to it, and the reason I even Wikipedia'd them to double check they were from Germany is that when I was listening to the bits, I was like, this is mad ghosty. Ghosty is like my go-to Swedish heavy kind of litmus test. Now, I know there's loads of other fucking bands that are fucking Swedish and heavy, and I know loads of those as well, but for some reason that ghost style of writing kind of metal music is ingrained in my head because I listened to so much of it over the last couple of years that when I hear that kind of fucking I'm like, I was listening, I was like, that sounds mad Swedish, so I had to look it up. I found out they were Swedish. So yeah, the fact that they're not German also pushes them up the charts a little bit for me, that they are, you'd be hard pushed to find a Swedish band that aren't really good. And I don't want to break the mould. I don't want to find one, you know what I mean? Because I've been happy enough knowing that, like, almost every Swedish band I know is in their own right really fucking good. And I don't want to go against the grain there. I don't want to find a bad one. So, like I said, I'm gonna go hands up. Going, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I didn't necessarily enjoy listening to the music. I enjoyed the fans talking about the music, even though they're all special cases, helmet wearers.
You have to give it. If you see a load of people absolutely mad at something that you don't.
I don't want to be the bleeding Grinch. Like have fun. You know what I mean? Yeah, off you go.
Mad.
Just don't come back from the gig and start singing in the pub, and we'll be fine. You know what I mean? Because that's what they're going to do. They want the gig to go on forever. It's like someone goes to see a band and then they come into the pub after it and ask the DJ to play the band. It's like, you just saw them live, you stupid cunt.
No, don't.
It's the worst thing in the world. We're just back from seeing Ed Sheeran. Play Ed Sheeran. Fuck off away from me. Like,
no.
Are you fucking for real? Put your headphones on, you stupid cunt.
They just want to tell someone. Why can't they just... Because you know what? I'd much prefer they did. Come to the DJ and go, I just came from Ed Sheeran. And then they walk off.
Yeah.
Grant.
Fucking...
That's all they really want to do.
Did you have
they want
fun?
to tell you that they buzz. They want to keep the buzz going.
Perfect.
With more Ed Sheeran. I'm like,
don't
you
be
just
getting
got to
me
see him live.
You just got 2 hours of him. I don't want to be playing him. He's shy. And you don't want to be hearing him. You just sang your balls off for the last 2 hours to him. You really and truly don't want to hear him again. And you get that all the fucking time. It's mad annoying. But anyway, that's it. Sabaton. I don't know.
We had a few turnarounds there.
We did. So I have the spreadsheet here. So I've got Baby Metal got a 5 out of 10 for you. So they moved up the charts a little bit.
No, I think they landed. No, they started on 5 and ended on 5.
Okay, so they went to even Stevens. Okay, let me read that down. Even Stevens. I should have written now 50-50. All right. White Stripes. I'm saying a massive yes to.
Cool.
The Darkness went down, I believe, for you.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Eagles of Death Metal is just a massive no. Like. The biggest no of the show.
You started with I don't like, but I don't know. Now you don't like and don't like
just,
at all and hate. Yeah,
just the worst.
Yeah, it sounds stupid music.
Then you've got the Pet Shop Boys, moved to a 6 out of 10 for you.
Good bit up. Good bit up. To be fair, I didn't expect them to, but to be honest with you, I had to just drop the fucking hate of the voice and realise that there's some bangers in there. Yeah.
Okay. What we got then? We've got Gorillaz, moved to a big yes for me, especially for Demon Days. Big fan now of that album in particular. Yeah. Then you had Journey, moved to a 6.5 out of 10 for you.
Yeah. From a 3 or something, or 2
yeah,
or 3.
It's moving up.
Found some great stuff in there.
Then we've got Style Council, which is just a no. It's just a flat no. It's not an aggressive no. It's just a fucking nah, me. I don't want something bigger than them chips. Nah. Glory Hammer are a 4 out of 10 for yourself.
Yeah, from a 2. Yeah. It's not for me, but I have a little bit more respect knowing that. Like you said, same with Sabaton. Man, I would never fucking judge people on listening to this. It's just we literally talk about ourselves. So it's not
that's what, again. This is the show. Again, we don't want to insult anybody, except for the people I'm calling simple that like Sabaton. But I'm simple as well, and I don't know if I like them. So maybe I'm like just broken. Stone Roses moved to a yes for me. Both of those albums are phenomenal. So
they really, really are brilliant music.
Yeah. What did we have then? We had Scroobius Pip and Dan Lassac was just a 1 out of 10 garbage. No, dumpster fire.
It's lyrically it's probably so meaningful, but I don't know if it has changed a fucking thing in England, and I don't care, and I don't like it.
No, only the people from London who go to art shows and drink red wine want around. No. And then Sabaton, who are just I just don't know. I have no and yes written down.
That's cool.
Don't know. So that's solid. 11 hard choices made there, and one that's I don't know. And I'm going to tell you this straight away now. I'm not going to listen to them again. Like I haven't decided. I haven't decided. Like no, it needs more research. That's not the case. I don't fucking know. I'm absolutely not willing to put the time into listening to more of it. But I'm not going to continue to hate. It's just a stalemate. I just don't know.
Yeah, this is the thing that has changed for me now. I can be a judgmental cunt because all our lives, you see, I don't know what other people grew up like, but in school you'd be tortured for what you listen to, even if it was good. Tortured.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It depends on who you're talking to.
And we grew up at be fucking careful. And we grew up this thick skin of when you slag a band, you're not slagging the person for listening to them. You're not saying, why the fuck do you listen to that? I hate people that do shit like that. Why the fuck are you listening to them? I just go, I think that's. Now, I don't jump straight into all of it. That's shy.
Yeah.
I never even say that's shy to someone. I go, oh, fuck, man, no, I can't. Me and you would say the same thing. Oh, I can't. So we grew up in that in school. So there's new people that never really had that.
Yeah.
And they think that when we slag a band, we're just going directly for that person's entire thought process.
Exactly. Their entire fucking, like, social background and what they stand for. Like, it's not the case.
Yeah, no.
Like, that's not the case. And again, these are simply opinions. They're correct
me
opinions.
Me and slag the shit out of each other as bands
all the time. All the time. You're always slagging fucking hardcore and all that shit. And I'm always slagging the later Radiohead albums. It's fine. It's fine. It's what happens, like. It's what happens.
You get on with it. It's not. We didn't write it. We didn't write this. It's not.
It wasn't me. Exactly. Fucking Gary Coleman job or whoever the fuck it was said wasn't me. Like, just wasn't me. Like, you know what I mean?
Shaggy said that.
He did, yeah. Okay, that is it, isn't it? Yeah, that's it, folks.
Yeah.
Thanks. That was a second part of Irrational Dislikes, which was a lot of fun, but a lot of work, which means that next week's one is going to be like fucking favourite fart noises or something.
Fuck that. We've let a lot of people down going, oh, they knew they were going to warm to that band. Other people going, like that, like Stone Roses, like me, we're going, I'm glad he came around. So it's going to change things up. I think it was a good experiment.
Listen, I'm always looking for new stuff to listen to, and I'm always hoping, much the same as something like television shows that you ignored, or you didn't know about and then you found existed, and there's like 6 seasons or 8 seasons and you're like, holy shit, this is amazing. So I'm always looking for music. I'm always looking for bands that I missed, because I am one of those cunts that I'm one of those people that we're trying to snap out of. I'm one of those people who like instinctively would listen to the same fucking 3 albums like for the rest of their life, you know.
And if you think about like the idea of what we did was to try and fix we are trying to do that. Like, I love ripping the shit out of things. In fact, I think we should have an Abominations again soon.
We need to
get drunk though.
Get it out. We're allowed to move in our counties now. Houses are allowed. So me and you can actually get together and smash some gargle and record in real life one.
I think
it'll be interesting.
I think the last time we did that, we didn't even finish the podcast. We finished it online later.
Yeah,
but the start of it is still one of the funniest things that we've done.
Got half it done and had to. And I wanted to scrap the whole thing, and you were like, "No, man, we can't."
The start of it was too much fun.
We can't. And I forgot my notes and everything. I was trying to like read Wikipedia and Google articles on the fly. It was fucking glorious. It was glorious. So we're getting back to that. Yeah, we're getting back to that. Stone Roses, or what was it? It was the Rolling Stones in like 1939 came out with an 8-track, like
pre-Nazi Germany.
Exactly, yeah. And they recorded half it on a satellite, and absolute nonsense, but it was fun.
They were on Bebo and everything. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Folks, that's it for this week. We're back again next week. I don't know what we're doing next week. We'll figure it out. It'll be a fun one because I'm fucking off to the mountain for a week. So it'll have to be done. It'll be done on the fly. So, but we'll get it done. We shall get it done. If you like what we do, go to patreon.com/Lost Art Podcast. That's a subscription-based service. That's $5 a month. We're going to do a special deal in what month is it now? Is it April? So May, yes, in May, which is when this is out, I believe. In May, we're going to do a special, a cheapo introductory offer for people who want to just jump on the Patreon for a month or two. For super cheap. We don't know how much it's going to be. But
it sounds of it, a lot of people will be going back into work as well. So maybe the podcast is kind of going to pick up in terms of people needing more of it, because we only do one a week. And if you're heading into work and stuff like that, it might not be a terrible idea to get Patreon and listen to all the extra ones that we have on that. Just to
there's tons of extra ones.
Life was, especially life was like before.
Exactly. Before the bomb hit. So there's tons of exclusive podcasts up there, and there's every live show we've done over the last year and a bit is up there as well. Every Saturday night show, which are not necessarily podcasts, but they're 4 hours of fucking drunken, meandering scooter talk and tunes. That'll be great fun on the bus. Especially being like dead sober at 8 o'clock in the morning and having to listen to us scuttered from 1 o'clock in the morning talking absolute noise. But you want to do that? That's patreon.com/Lost Art Podcast. You can tip us on ko-fi.com/Lost Art Podcast. All of our links are there on lostartpodcast.com, and we will talk to you again next week. Thank you very much.
Right.